And with that, Kirk, I'll turn it over to you.
All right. Well, I'm Kirk Stewart. I'm one of the SCTC volunteers, typically up there at Longmont. I usually work on Tuesdays and work with the computers. I typically work more with the Android stuff than the iPhone stuff. But today I wanted to talk about Kindles. And by that, as he mentioned mainly Kindle Fires, which is a small tablet version of a Kindle. The old Kindles that you started 20 some years ago were called keyboard Kindles, had a little keyboard down there. They were called Generation 3, and they're pretty much black and white readers. But hidden in the capabilities there, they started experimenting with internet connectivity and browsers and stuff, and they were capable of getting to the internet for your email and stuff, even on the old keyboard Kindles. They developed that, and when they came out with the Kindle Fire, which had a nice colorful screen, touch screen that operated in that manner, they became just a lower end tablet computer that did a lot of the same things, but at still a lot lower cost. And that's going to be one of my emphasis during the pitch today, is that you can have a thing that's very convenient to operate. You don't have to go upstairs. I might as well get into my slides here then. And so let's see, I need to share the screen.
Do you have a handout or that you sent out
I
or
can,
will send out?
I can easily mail you this file if you'd like.
Yes,
Just
please.
put your email in a comment to me or something like that. Let's see.
Thank you.
We have your email addresses. We'll send it to you. So you don't have to put it in the chat, okay?
Okay.
Great.
Now
Please.
I'm not showing up my little, maybe I should go through this.
Christine also wants one, please, Sarah.
I'll
Kirk,
send it to, I'll send it to all of you.
Thank you.
Kirk, it's that green button at the bottom of the Zoom window. It may be hidden by other Zoom stuff.
For sharing?
Yeah,
Okay, now that I've got it open, I should be able to share it. Okay.
there you go.
Is it sharing now?
Not yet. There's two. You have to click share, and then there's another button that says share. Okay, it's kind of
Well,
redundant.
that's the button I'm missing.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, there we go. Good. So
Yeah, so you're sharing your whole screen here.
I am.
Yep, that's okay. Yeah, there you go.
That's a little better. So looking for convenience and something you can do easily. A lot of you probably got into things like these computers with email with your kids or other people, and they gets 20 years ago, you used to go up to your main computer and have to turn it on. And let's see if I, all right. Just, how do I, forgot what here to make it advance a page. The return's not working there. Let me go back and we'll go this way then. So it's originally a book reader, but with the Generation 3, they tried out other internet features, and it matured into a tablet computer with a Kindle Fire that has a nice touch screen and works like that. It's very much, when you get the thing going, based on apps, just very much like your cell phone. So it's very easy to just open various individual applications by working with it as an app, like a cell phone or a Chromebook. But instead of having to go up to your desk or wherever you maybe keep your desktop machine or your laptops and so forth and fire them up and go through all the steps to fire them up, it comes on very quickly. And By that, I mean, you pick up the device. Most of the cases have an automatic on switch so that as soon as you just open the case, it goes there. You swipe up. You can have a 4-digit PIN number just like your cell phone, and it will come up. Now, I'm reading the Denver Post here. This is one of my favorite applications, by the way, and the reason I have the 10-inch one is we have difficulty out west of Niwot getting a paper delivered early in the morning, and I like to read the paper, but if I have to wait till 10:30, I've already gone on to other things. So that quickly, I'm either reading my paper, or if I want to, going to my email, which is just a little browser button up here. Well, that takes me to the internet. Let me go to the email. With one touch, I'm into my email. I don't have to sign on. I don't have to take a lot of time to go locate. So I can do this down in the living room in a nice, comfortable chair. I can get to my email and check it 20 times a day with just about a 5-second experience there, and I don't have to go through what you have to with a full-size computer. But it's also a much larger screen, as you see, and it's a lot easier to read with your email than a cell phone. And for people who are getting to be a little bit forgetful, we have that in our house a bit. It's much easier to be continuing to do this. My wife forgot her passwords for her email 5 years ago or something, but she still does all her email just fine on the Kindle. So it's a nice fit for seniors that can simplify how they get access to their email and to the other apps that they may use. And I'll go through some of these other apps in a minute, because a lot of them, some of them are fun and some are just convenient. But it's a lot larger screen than, say, using your cell phone to try and do this. So convenience, being able to just have this anywhere in the house where you're comfortable, flip it open in 5 seconds, literally, be checking your email, checking the weather, looking at your calendar for the day. We use a joint calendar app where each of us has a separate account under our email names, but the calendars share. So I can pull that up and quickly just see what's going on, as can she. And the events are even color coded if you like. As you'll see, mine are typically in green, hers are typically in pink, and we got a few others that are in yellow or some other color. You need a separate calendar to have a different color for each events, but they're holidays and a few things like that. The disadvantage is your kids probably told you to buy an iPhone because they were educated back in the 80s or later with Apple getting into the schools and making a really good sales pitch and getting a lot of people hooked on that kind of thing. I think the disadvantage to Apple equipment is it's expensive. I know when I started in the early 80s trying to look into a computer for work or something, the computer was one cost, but the software was always 3 times the cost of anything else I could get a hold of on DOS or something like that. So the main uses here, and again, it's mostly all of these are represented by one or the other of the icons on the screen there, are email, and it's very quick to it. You've got your contacts list that's associated, but it's a separate little file. You can use it just as your little phone book kind of thing. The calendars I mentioned and I just showed you are very convenient for keeping track. You enter those things in very quickly, and then, as I say, I know what I'm doing, but my wife can also look up and check up where I am or something like that. They're nice weather apps. My wife happens to like Radar X. I consider Radar X the Chicken Little of the weather programs. Yeah, sky is always falling, but there are others that give you regular stuff. It has photos, typically like your cell phone. There's a camera. You can see the little hole up here that for the camera. So you can take pictures with this just like with a cell phone, store them in other photo apps and share them with email and so forth. And as I said, one of my biggest ones, particularly in the last few years, is reading newspapers. But I also subscribe to Kindle Unlimited to get the low-cost books or free books. And that's an app that you can earn, a service you can subscribe to and unsubscribe to after a month and just pay occasionally for a month. They'll usually give you a 3 to 6 month starting subscription for a very low cost, and you can try it out and shut it off anytime you want. Of course, it has the internet feature, the browser on there. They call it a Silk browser. It's a little bit of a scaled down browser. It doesn't have all the capabilities of your big machine, but it has all the ones that are appropriate for a little tablet computer. I do all my shopping usually just when I quickly want to buy another set of coffee or another pair of shoes or something like that with their browser here. And of course, you can search the internet for information as you go along. I'll probably keep repeating this, but it's just the convenience of getting to this, having it anywhere in the house, being able to flip it open, check your email or Wi-Fi, or look at something else for a few minutes, put it down, walk around, drink your coffee, and not have to sit at a desk or stare at a tiny screen. And I went through how with these Kindles, they typically have an on button here on the top, but if you buy one of the cases for 15 or 20 bucks, they always have a little magnet right in the corner that when you flip it open, it turns it on right then. So all you have to do then is just swipe up, put in your login pin if you want. That is optional, but I recommend that if you have any kind of shopping applications on there that you don't want the kids or somebody else to just pick it up and buy something with. And as I said earlier, why not a cell phone? It's a bigger screen, it's more readable. The keyboard comes alive anytime you get to an app where you wouldn't need to enter something, like when you want to write your email. You just tap that field and the keyboard comes up from the bottom, takes up about a bottom third of the screen. You don't have to sit there with little thumbs on a cell phone. You've got a bigger thing, and the swipe type technology works. So you can just put your finger down and just zigzag between a word, and the whole word will show up at times. It also has verbal input. You can turn on the microphone and dictate to it. And then you have to go back and correct all the stuff that it thinks you said differently. So battery time on these, typically I get a couple of days out of a charge and stick it on a charge. The Kindle Fires don't, with the color screen and everything, don't have anywhere the capability of the earlier readers or of the later type of smaller, just still black and white readers that you might want to buy. But I usually typically just stick it on the charging cable down by my chair every other day or something for a while, and not a problem at all. Again, I think I may be getting redundant here. I wanted to also mention these are the names of all the apps that we can go through. If anybody's got any questions on that, we can do that. I found that the Zoom works adequately. Back when my nieces in Texas wanted to do some communications, I found that the Zoom works well enough for a small tablet computer. And there are maps and trip planning. Oh, games. One of the things I like about my Kindle is, like my cell phone, if I have to go to a doctor's appointment or someplace where I may have to wait, or take the car in down to Discount Tire and wait an hour for them to change tire, I can take this along. I particularly like some of the bridge apps, but there's solitaire and typical games on there. So this is also my little Game Boy all built in with that. So going on, and so the price on these things, this one was $130, and I think the case was another 15 or so. That fits in pretty well. That's cheaper than a cell phone. It's a lot cheaper than most tablet computers that I've seen, and so it's very affordable. And as I say, I've gone through. This is my third Kindle Fire. I had a keyboard or a Generation 3 Kindle first. I also, as I've gotten more into reading, just went ahead and got one of the smaller black and white reader Kindles that comes on like that. Again, with just a magnet to open the thing up. And I do have Kindle Unlimited so that I can access a lot of books. And with the Kindle Unlimited subscription, one of the nice things is you get 3 magazine subscriptions that just automatically come in whenever they're published each time during the month. And let's see, I thought there was something else, but it's worth trying. And like I say, you can try it at a discount probably the first few months and then decide if you want to keep up or cancel it. Or I've canceled it a couple of times and then 2 months later gone back and done another trial subscription. So, but I think I'm going to stick with it now for a while. And I've been through all this. Difference between the Scribe and there are two of these small reader type Kindles. One's called a Paperwhite, and one's called a Kindle Scribe. The Kindle Scribe's a little bit cheaper. The Paperwhite, allegedly, and my brother-in-law has one and loves it, is a little better for reading in outdoor light if you're out on the beach or something. But the Scribe is perfectly fine for using in the house and in the shade outside. I have a lot of books on that. And anything you buy on one Kindle goes to all your Kindles on the account. So when I buy a single book or my Kindle Unlimited subscription, it goes also to my wife's Kindle. It goes to my Kindle Scribe. So you can just purchase one and it'll be on all your Kindles through anything there. That's a nice sharing feature that you only need one account and keep all good. So when you do buy your Kindle, I recommend that what you do is you buy it through Amazon on the internet, because then it'll come all set up and linked to your account. If you buy it at one of the stores in town, you'll have to go through a couple other steps to get it signed on, but that's not a big deal. So what else is anybody thinking they might use their Kindle for that I haven't covered or made a comment on? Has anyone got any questions on any of the particular apps, or just want to comment on small tablet computer versus something else?
Well, Kirk, as you mentioned, or maybe you mentioned it, I love my Kindle Fire for watching video content, YouTube videos, streaming services. I have also an iPad, but I have to say for things like reading or watching video, it's full screen, it's widescreen format compared to the iPad that is a different screen format. So that's one feature in particular that I think the Kindle exceeds other choices in inexpensive solutions.
Yes, if you get any of the Fubo or any of those other TV subscriptions, they're all will come in just fine on your Kindle. I have, to save a little space, I put my apps for the TVs and stuff all under one folder.
Kirk, maybe you want to stop sharing so that could be seen easier.
Okay, let's see, where's
The green button down on the bottom. There you go.
So you'll see in the bottom row there, you'll see there they have a little couple there that have, to save screen. They only have one screen on here. They don't side swipe to give you extra space. So I just take 4 or 5 icons or apps that are related, like this TV sharing stuff, and put them all in one folder, create one folder types thing, and it stuffs them all in there, and then I can just open it and open the other ones. But I do like your comment there about the being able to use the video. A lot of people could sit there and watch, the football games if they have that football app. I have one comment on the screens. When you buy the Kindles, they have Kindles Fires and Kindle Fire HDs. The first one I bought was a 7-inch HD, and it was great. The next one I bought was an 8-inch, not HD, and I couldn't tell the difference. And the 10-inch one I have now is not HD. So you might save 10 or 15 bucks not getting the HD. And I have never been able to tell the difference. And I do have pretty good eyes, even though I use glasses for correction. But so I think the screens are nice and sharp with just the regular model. Possibly if you're going to download a lot of books and a lot of materials you want to keep on there, you might consider a model that has a little higher storage, but I've never run into much of an issue there with my 8-inch ones. That's now about eight years old or something. It tells me it's low on storage, but it's not having any trouble retaining or downloading anything further if I want it.
Kirk, this is Sarah. I use my Kindle Fire a lot when I travel, so I don't have to take my computer. It's so lightweight, and I can do my email. I can check out books from the library or buy books and read on the Kindle. It's very convenient for that.
That's my older one has become my travel one. And you mentioned, and Daryl, you mentioned also the Libby app, which is actually just an online app for accessing digital content from libraries. And the Longmont Library actually has conducted classes on the use of Libby. And it's going to a website, and then you put in your card number for the library, your library card number, and you can access all their digital content. And it doesn't have to just be a local library. If you get a library card from Dallas or New York or any other library system, if you have the library number, you can use the Libby app to access all the digital content and books that they have. And so I have the 3 local library systems, and we'll get books through that in the Libby app. 4 or 5 years ago, I tried the Libby app. It wasn't working as well, but I went back this summer and took their class, and the Libby app is a good way to just get a lot more books and content.
I will mention that if you want to delve a little deeper into Kindle Fire tablets on our website, info.sctc.org, we have a tab devoted to Kindles from previous material we've posted. So there'll be a little more detail if you want to do a little more research into Kindles. Also, watch out for Amazon's sales, because that's when you can really get a good deal on the Kindle Fire tablets. That's how
Have
I've
you had anybody had any experience buying one of their used or rebuilt ones? You know, those come out $130 one for $79 or something, but I don't know. If they're so inexpensive, I just go for the better one right off the bat. They're just the new one just because it's new.
Do we have any more questions?
Are there any more apps that people are
Oops,
aware
sorry.
of that they think would be useful on this?
You already, this is Christine. You already described the benefits of Libby, and that is so uh s- expansive in my brain. It's just so wonderful, but I just want to make sure I understand that I could connect with Libby, and I would have a reader read me the whole book on my potential.
I believe that's true. I would check with the library system. Not all the, oh, yes, they're the audiobook. Just check out the audiobook.
Yeah,
And then
that's
it does that. Yeah.
how exciting.
You through Libby, you can get the audio. Not all their books have the audiobook version, but yeah, you just, when you check it out, select the audio one.
Better than magic.
I don't think you mentioned the social media apps, Kurt, like
Yeah, okay.
Facebook and sorry if I missed that.
No,
Anyway,
I, I, I have it on here. Yes, I overlooked it because it's not something that I do a whole lot. My wife won't use Facebook, but I've kept in touch with a lot of my nieces that way. And in fact, I found about 5 or 6 years ago through Facebook, I found a lost niece in Florida.
Oh,
I use it mostly for that, but there's some class alumni stuff that we keep track of, and so yes, Facebook works like Facebook.
So Kirk, this is Bobski. So is there an app store like there is for Androids and phones?
Yes, yes, there is.
So if I wanted the Facebook app, I would go to that store and there's a specific app for Facebook, right?
Yeah, well, there is, but most of them are common to the same app that you'd use anyway. Let's see. Their little symbol down here is app. It's not like the Play Store one. And when you go to that store, it won't guarantee, it won't limit and show you only Kindle successful apps. It'll show you a lot of apps. And there are a number of apps that don't have a Kindle, which is because of the Silk browser being a little less of a browser. I guess that's why. So you can get to apps and get apps, and sometimes it'll send it to your cell phone through there. But there is an app application to find apps.
So how common
Not all of
are
them will work on a Kindle, but it'll show you a lot of them.
how common are, let's say, Wells Fargo? Is there a Wells Fargo app?
Okay, the banking apps I haven't really tried because I like my desk machine for doing any serious work like that, paying my bills, Quicken data when you're putting in Quicken. If you're going to use things that are word oriented, like things like Microsoft Word or PowerPoint or the free versions through Adobe, let's see, what do they call that? The Open Office and Libre stuff. I find it a little more convenient to have a keyboard and a mouse than trying to do a spreadsheet on a Kindle.
Yeah. So your Kindle's a lightweight thing for some fairly lightweight activities, right?
Oh, light and medium.
Yeah, okay. That makes sense.
Light and medium. But if I do a few other things to do some programming for bridge scoring or seal. My oldest story is back. Do you ever know what a Timex Sinclair 1000 was?
A watch,
Oh,
I
yeah.
assume.
Yeah, long time ago.
All of 2K of memory.
Bobski?
Writing basic. That was fun. Back in the 80s out at the reservoir, I used to have the sailboat racing, since they all wasn't one design, single class, they had handicaps ratings for each boat, and you'd score the races on time divided by their handicap.
So it was a
Do
computer.
that in my pickup truck with a 9-volt hookup and a Timex.
Oh, fun.
Bobski?
Yeah.
The App Store, Kindles are based on Android.
Oh,
And
okay.
Amazon has customized Android. And of course, then they have their own App Store. It's a subset of what's available in the Play Store.
Got it.
It isn't every app, but it's a good part of the apps. My tablet is talking to me. Sorry, I said the A word.
Yeah. Okay.
I have a question. Sharon here. If I went on a trip and took the Kindle and I needed to access my computer, could I do that? Could I access my computer from my Kindle?
Access your
How?
computer.
So if I had stuff in my computer, but I only had my Kindle with me,
Was your computer, did you leave your computer on when you went away?
I suppose I would have to, wouldn't I?
Yeah.
Yeah. So if
The
my
best
computer,
security on your computer is the off switch. If you leave it on
yes,
for a few weeks, people might hack in.
Sharon, that
okay.
may be possible. I'd have to research that. I know I do that on using Google's remote desktop. I don't know if they have that working on the Kindle. I'd have to check that, but that's pretty involved process sometimes.
The Kindle, if you need help, by the way, they have a fairly simple help dictionary built into the thing. But about the second step is, if that doesn't answer your question, they'll call you. You just put in your phone number, they'll call you within 30 seconds, and they will take over and screen share if they need to help you resolve your problem.
And
So
that's a real
Kindle
person.
will allow some of that, but I'm not sure exactly what the process would be to get to your own home computer.
Okay.
Kirk, we have a couple of questions in the chat. How do you
Joe,
know?
and Joe has his hand up too.
Oh, I can't see
Okay.
Joe's hand up.
Well, okay, I had a pop-up showing that. Maybe that's
Okay,
just
I'll just,
That's
how do you know when
me.
the Amazon sale is on? Somebody else can answer that. The Silk browser is, for instance, if you're using Microsoft computer right now. Your browser is called Edge. It's a little greenish blue comma circular thing. That's your browser. The Silk browser is just another slightly scaled down version of an Android browser. It's maybe a scaled down version of Chrome or something like that, or what you might use on a Chromebook. So Silk is just the version of the browser that Amazon has put in here to accommodate their computing power and whatever.
Joe,
One
what
of-
was your
Yeah, one of
question?
the things that you were asking if there were other uses. One thing that I had on my very first tablet, which was quite a few years ago, um, there's a pulsometer that you can load. You put your index finger on the screen, and within a couple seconds, you get your pulse rate. People with, uh, you know, heart problems and things like that need to check that might want to look into that. I don't have it anymore. I don't use it, but it was a pretty accurate program from what I can tell. And like I said, and there were several of them that were available at the store. So you can, well, yeah, that's if you have the watch. Yeah, the watch
Well,
takes care of that for you, you know. But
yeah,
if you don't have the watch, you know, it
we
presents.
wear these all the time. My wife has had tachycardia, so she has a little $28 one that will sense and detect her pulse rate. This is only a $48 one, but it'll alert me when phone calls come in. So I just wanted to say you don't have to buy the expensive Apple watches either. There are a number in the $50, $70 ranges that will have the telephone hookup. Mine shows the weather. So, but now the one thing on the watches that I'm a little goosey about is I don't think their blood pressure readings are all that accurate. I think their technology there is not as good. But pulse rate, and they give you oxygen levels and several other little exercise readings. I recommend this. Me, I always hated wearing a watch, but this nice little lightweight rubber band doesn't bother me too much. So that's
Rose,
another good topic. There's just a little, watches for whatever level you want. If you want the one that you actually talk on, you're going to pay a lot more. But mine will notify me when email. Well, it'll give me the email on the watch. It just won't let me connect the phone call.
Rose had a question about how do we know when they're on sale? Well, Amazon participates in the Black Friday type sales, and I think we just
We
missed the Prime
have our
Day.
Prime on October 8th or 9th or
Yeah,
something.
we missed the Prime Day sale, but they typically follow the normal when everybody else has big sales like before Christmas and so on.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Okay, thanks, Kirk. That was
Okay.
educational.
Like I say, good fill in between a high-end computer and even laptops are sort of expensive too, but cell phones don't provide the screen time. So this fits right in the middle and it's very low cost.
All right,
Good,
thanks for attending, everyone.
Thank
good
you.
sales pitch,
Thank you.
Kirk.
Thanks very much.